Greetings, Local 2627 sisters and brothers. Today is Monday, the 27th of February, 2012, and I hope everybody had a great weekend. And I just want to talk to you about three different items. And the first one I'm going to talk about is leave of absence. Of course, more micro details of this can always be accessed by talking to somebody at DC37. You can call this office. But let me explain to you the three different scenarios. One, if you're in a permanent title, and you're taking another permanent title someplace, you're automatically put on a leave of absence until you pass the probation period in the next title, next permanent title that you're going to. Now, the reason why I say that I'm not specifying the amount of your probationary period, because sometimes you can have your probationary period waived. So it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. So whenever you finish your probationary period in the new title, then the title that you had prior to that is eliminated. Your leave of absence is gone because you cannot hold two permanent civil service titles at the same time. Okay, second scenario. You're permanent and you're moving into another title, but it's a provisional title. In this case, you have to take a leave of absence from this permanent title to perform in the provisional title. If for some reason you want to go back to your agency, it could be a year or 2 or 3 or 5 years, your permanent title is still there for you to fall back on. Now, in both of these two cases, we're talking about within your agency. Now, the third scenario is if you take if you're going to a different title, permanent or provisional, in another agency. Now, if you're permanent, going to another permanent title, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to hold your title until you pass your probationary period. As far as provisional, going from a permanent title to a provisional title in another agency, it's up to the agency if they want to do that, if they want to hold your position for you, whether they're going to grant you the leave of absence. In most cases, they don't. So those are three scenarios. If you have any questions about that, then please do not hesitate to give us a call over here at DC37. Next issue. A lot of members seem to not want to use their Weingarten rights, or seem not to be aware of their Weingarten rights. Your Weingarten rights are the rights to have union representation anytime you go into any disciplinary situation with management. Now, because management calls you to your office, you can't assume right away that it's a disciplinary type of thing. They could ask you about anything they want to. But if you get into that office or into that meeting or into that counseling session and it seems that it's going to be some type of disciplinary action against you, then you have a right to invoke your Weingarten rights, which gives you the right to have some type of union representation there. So please do not go into these counseling sessions unless you have union representation there, because a lot of times these counseling sessions, they take the information that you give them defending yourself and use that against you in formal charges. So you want to be very careful about that. You need somebody in there to make sure that your back is covered. Now, the next subject, the last subject I want to talk to you about is I received a memo from the president of the Municipal Labor Council, Harry Naspoli, and he was talking about some changes that the state wants to make. Now, remember, in the Municipal Labor Council, we have about 300,000 members, which are active members and retirees. Now, what's being proposed in the state right now, and this is going to change Department of Civil Service laws, is to open competitive and promotional competitive tests. But the difference with this is they're going to have two lists, and management is going to have the right to choose from either one of the two lists that they want to choose from. So that means you're not safe, because generally, before they can hire people from an open competitive test, they have to make sure the promotional people, if the title's the same, they have to make sure that they've taken care of these people by picking them up from the promotional list first. So this is one of the changes that we need to look out for. They also want to allow non-competitive people to take promotional exams into competitive titles. Now remember, if you're non-compet, you didn't take an exam in the first place. So why should they allow you to take a promotional exam? Now, it would be different if this person was had taken a test and no, let me rephrase that. It'd be different if it wasn't a promotional test and it was an open competitive. Then non-compet should be able to take an open competitive test, but non-compet should not be able to take promotional exams because they have not taken any exam in the first place. Now, also, they wanted to have non-compets to be transferred to competitive titles without taking out any exams. Now, these are just 3 different incidents of what they're trying to do. How they're just trying to dismantle our public service unions. They're trying to change civil service law so they can do whatever they want to do. They also want to be able to hire people temporarily for 5 years, non-competitive, without any exams. We have to be on top of this, and we have to make sure these are things that we don't allow to happen. And one way that we do this is we make sure that we watch to see which one of our legislators are supporting this type of changing in our civil service laws. And these are the people that we make sure that we do not have them elected next time around. Good and welfare for this week. We have good and welfare for somebody at Niger, Andy Lackraj, who had a death in his family. His dad, we're here to say that. We're sorry to hear that. And as usual, our love and our sympathy goes out to this member in these times. And hopefully everything is going to be all right in the future for him. In solidarity, make sure you go and vote, please. Make sure you stay on top of it. If you need information about who to vote for, contact us here at DC37, and we will tell you who your people are that you should vote for, okay? Until next week, this is Robert Ajay. Have a good week.